Okay, the importance of internships and how to search for an awesome one. So this is just the overview of what we're going to talk about tonight. Why internships are important, how to prepare, how to research without or with minimal stress, where to look. I saw someone ask the question, so we're going to get into that. Application tips and internship alternatives. So that's what we're going to get into tonight. So why are internships important? If you're already on this webinar and maybe your SRA advisor told you to get on this, or if you are from a hub school, then you should know that internships are important, not just because, you know, you've probably had a hard semester and you really just want to relax during the summertime, but taking on an internship or a volunteer opportunity of some sort, you get skills and you learn professional development and you gain practical skills that you can bring forth to any career you take on in the future post-graduation. And it's really important because you can see here, a lot of employers, like, yes, your degree is important and your major is important and your GPA as well, but employers are looking at what you learned, what skills did you gain while you were in college, and that goes beyond the books, that goes beyond exams. So it's always important to take on internships during the summer instead of just chilling out. And not only do you gain these skills, but internships also they teach you what you don't want to do. Because internships are explorative for the most part. You get to do it if you can do a different internship each year and figure out what interests you have or what career goals you would like to take on. And it's okay because it's an internship and it's supposed to be temporary. So like myself, I was a social major at UC Santa Cruz, and I wanted to focus my major on sociology and public health because that's something that one of my social professors did when they were in college. And I was like, well, this looks really cool. I actually like what he's like teaching us and things like that. So when I studied abroad in Botswana, I went to do a public health internship. Just short story short, or keep the story short, I did not like public health. I did not like seeing policies or figuring out policies and seeing how that affects the community and things like that. I just didn't like that process. It's something I didn't really want to do. Then I came back and I took an education class, and I realized, I'm like, whoa, what? I love education. I work in an academic advising office for like 2 years. Like, of course I should work in education. So that internship helped me figure out what I didn't want to do. And it can also help you figure out what you don't want to do, which is kind of half the battle. And also going on and taking different internships, or just even sticking with the same internship for the consecutive 4 years, which is also great. You're still building your professional network. And that's really, really important, because when trying to find jobs after college, that saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know, is like real. Because a lot of employers, they look within their company to hire people, or references they look within their company as well. So if you know someone, or if you internship with someone and you're looking for another internship opportunity, or maybe for a future career opportunity, that's a great in. And some internships provide a stipend. So that's a great way to earn money over the summer break as well. That's the other thing to think about. And then bringing academic coursework to life. I didn't use the coursework that I used studying abroad for my own benefit, because it was something I didn't want to do, and I switched on to education after I came back. But some people who took on that internship really got to see their coursework when they were at their other schools come to life, and seeing how policies really enact certain change in certain communities, or what those effects look like. So it's another great opportunity to see how the thing you're learning in these books and all these papers and exams you're taking, and seeing how that could look in the real world. How to prepare. So preparing for the search, for the application, all that jazz, always best to start as early as possible. So now you should be starting. If you were starting a month ago, that's even better. But now and not tomorrow, honestly, because the internship process, it's kind of like applying to college. You know, you have all these applications, you have all these cover letters and essays and things like that. It's a lot of work. So getting started as soon as possible. The early bird gets the worm. You'll have more opportunities to pick jobs than waiting until June or when you graduate. So preparing in advance and preparing now. You can also use our resume builder on the Hub. and our base are in our cover letter builder as well. If you haven't already, I'm going to show you how to get there. But just having a base cover letter or a base resume is a really good thing just to have on hold, especially if you know that you like a certain career option. If you know you're into education, then having an education resume like already done on lock, but you also are maybe into fashion design, so maybe having a resume on that already on lock, things like that. So when it comes time to submit applications, you're just like submitting them and getting them in. Having definitely your advisors oversee them, but still having all of that in advance is so much easier than fumbling around. Let's see. Also, cleaning up your online presence. This is something that my advisors told me when I was a freshman in college, so I was already like on it. I was privating all my social media sites. I was making sure that nothing I post was too inappropriate, because I knew that certain companies do look for you and they do search you up and they judge to see what type of person you are. So if you haven't done that already, just making sure to private all your social media sites, and also deleting anything that may be a little suggestive or that you maybe a grandparent or a paternal figure would not necessarily like to see. So that's just something to keep in mind. But let me show you all how to get to the builders on the Hub. So what you will do, this is our lovely advisor, Vanessa. You will go onto SRA students or sracollegetocareers.org, and it will take you to our website, the Hub. And then you will go to resources, and actually, well, you could type in resources, or you can go to tools, and you'll see the resume builder and the cover letter builder. And both of these are really great because you just are basically inputting different information into little blocks, and it's already done, like just inputting your name, excuse me, your school, education, any honors, affiliations, and any previous jobs that you've had, and any skills as well. And then you'll download that into PDF or Word. Word works as well. I'll just do PDF right now because it pops up. And then out pops a formatted resume, all great, and just that's half the battle, honestly, is making sure your resume looks clear and concise, because that's basically what the first impression is, what your employer is going to see. Is like, okay, what's the resume? Like, is it even looking good? Because if it's not, then on to the next one. And then going back to tools, the same thing applies for cover letters. So we have, this is just a base cover letter, and we actually, where you put your name, things like that. And we also have like a little blurb as to what you should be including in each section. So that's really great. Because I remember my first cover letter, I didn't know how to write it. But luckily I had a template like this to help me and guide me as to what I should include and what I shouldn't include, and just how to go about writing it. And then again, you will download it, and it will all pop up as a formatted cover letter to send to an employer. So those are just some resources. Let me see the questions now that I'm checking. Resumes should be kept to a page. Some employers are okay with 2 pages, but if I were you, I would try to keep it to as close to a page as possible, and really focusing on the job descriptions that you have that are relevant to what that internship is looking for. And year-long internships, I'm going to get to that in a second. Or I'll try my best to get to that question. All right, let me go back to full screen. Cool. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. There we are. Cool. So researching without stress. I'm not gonna lie to you, there will be some stress when it comes to application seasons of anything, but these are just some things that we think you should check out that will at least give you minimal stress. Especially if you don't know what you're even looking for, especially if this is your first internship and you're like, well, I don't even have any skills. Like, what am I supposed to do, Carol? Volunteering is where you should be getting involved, especially like now, if you do have the time to volunteer, then volunteering is a great place to start if you don't have as much professional experience. But anyways, doing your homework is where you should start, doing the research. So these websites right here, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, all of these are great places to look up internship descriptions if you know maybe of a certain role or position that you may want. These are great places to find those. Idealist has a lot of volunteer opportunities as well that you should check out, and Indeed. And then creating a list of certain companies and positions that you're interested in. That's a great place to start. And if you have already declared your major, seeing maybe what careers come out of your major on your school's career center, or what people do with your major after graduation is also a great place to look at, just expanding your mind a bit. And like I said, being flexible and open, especially for STEM majors. I think we always just think like, okay, I'm a STEM major, so I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. But sometimes you can take what you've learned from these majors and apply it to a lot of different occupations that you may not even think of. And that's a great place to take these ideas, or to find these ideas at your career center, to explore a lot of different and diverse occupations. So where to look? Again, overwhelming, but doable. I would highly, highly, highly recommend, if you have yet to go to your career center, to do so ASAP. I didn't really go until maybe my junior year, which is like an okay time to go, but starting as soon as possible, just to get a feel of, one, how the career center works, so you already know how to navigate it with your advisor, and so they can get a sense of who you are and find opportunities that fit you. And then, like I said previously, when you are going to these career centers and looking at your major and things like that, their job is to find a job for you, or to find opportunities for you. So they will see, yes, your major is within the STEM field, but these are also possible occupations that you can go into that other people within your major have done. So again, they help you expand your mind a bit and help you be able to get flexible and open to new opportunities. And then internship fairs. I know now that they're definitely winter career fairs and things like that. If you haven't gone to one, for sure, make sure to go to one this semester or this quarter. And not only just go like, oh, after class, I'm just going to hit it up, but being very prepared when you go to it. So usually the career centers, they send out emails saying, hey, we're going to have a internship or career fair at so-and-so date, and these are the companies that are going to be there. So making sure to look over that list and really researching, okay, like, is that company, do I really mess with Target? Is that okay? Or like Google, I think Google is a place for me. Things like that, researching those companies, and also thinking about researching their internship board or their internship page and seeing what positions they have open. So when you are going to these fairs, you're already like, all right, I'm in the know. I know exactly where to go. I know who to speak with, and I know what to speak to them about certain positions. And also coming with a resume in hand. So this is kind of like your little elevator pitch right here. You're trying to sell yourself to these people because that's their job. They're recruiting. So really coming with intention in mind and being prepared at these internship fairs. And also just checking out the Career Center postings. They usually have volunteer opportunities. So again, a great place to build your volunteer experience and your professional skills, and then also maybe internships throughout the year. Sometimes they have, depending on your major or certain courses, there could be year-long internships there on the Career Center, and also just over the summer as well. And then just your computer, going to different companies daily if you would like, and just searching up what opportunities they have available. Like I said before, these LinkedIn, Glassdoor, all of these are great places to start for internship opportunities. Glassdoor is a really great one after you've done the research and you've applied, and if you've gotten through to the interview process, because Glassdoor also includes interview questions. People submit interview questions that people have asked them during their interview. And that was something that I checked out when I was, before this job, checking out post-grad jobs and seeing, okay, I got through the interview process. What are they going to ask me? Aside from the common, tell me about yourself, what is your greatest weakness and strength? Sometimes they hit you with the doozies and you're a little unprepared for that. So Glassdoor, sometimes the gracious people that do submit these questions, submit certain questions just to let you know in advance, hey, they may ask you this question so you can prepare for it. That's just a little plug there for you, for anybody who's thinking about, or you all should be thinking about internships. And then your own network. A lot of people are like, I don't have a network. I'm just a college student. Like, what do you mean? But we all have our own networks. And no matter what year in college you are in, your professors, that's maybe like your first intro into networking right there, because they're not only there to teach you about certain skills and lecture you about things and give you tests and whatnot, but they're also there. They got their degree, they got their PhD or whatnot and what have you, and they have their own network. So you can definitely use them to your advantage and say like, hey, I want to learn more in depth about this topic. Can you tell me more about who I should speak with or who I can see to gain more skills on so-and-so X, Y, and Z. So using your teachers as a network and your classmates as well. Most classes you're in, you're kind of sometimes sprinkled with fourth years, third years, things like that. So you never know what these people, other students, what professional background they may have, and opportunities they've been involved in, or leadership opportunities that they've also been involved in. So always great just to ask people like, hey, what have you done? What are you doing now? And how can I get involved? Is a great way to broaden your network. And then also just getting involved with your own campus. So aside from just being involved in clubs and associations and being like a member, but taking on leadership opportunities within those as well is a great way to not only build your network and facilitating things and or facilitating programs or whatnot, but it's also, again, a professional development in that you are building skills in speaking or creating events or things like that. And now we're on to the application tips. So you've done your research. You're like, okay, I got my list, Carol. Now I need to apply. So like I said before, having those base cover letters and resumes in your back pocket are great. But now you need to tailor it to these specific organizations and companies. So making sure to do that and making sure you're sending it to the right organization. And I know I said that with a laugh, but I'm serious, guys. We were at a point when we were accepting applications for a position. We got applications from some people, one person in particular, and I don't think he must have made a mistake in what he was applying for, because he sent me a cover letter that didn't necessarily match up with the job description. And he also sent me a resume that was 12 pages long, which is something you should never do. But just making sure that you're targeting your resume to a specific company and that you're sending the right documents to the right people. And also applying within a timely manner. So if they are asking for it by this deadline, making sure to do so. And if any communication is happening, then making sure to respond within 24 hours. And follow all the directions of the application. Again, that person sent me something that wasn't correct. And that shows that you don't pay attention to detail. And that's something that employers don't like. They want someone who's detail-oriented and who can follow directions, because they'll be doing that within the job. And yes, applying to multiple internships, but only accepting one. You might be excited, like, oh man, I'm getting all these internships. Heck yeah, let's go. And you just accept because you're just like, I'm not sure yet, but I'd rather accept and just leave them ghost. Not the best idea, because you're going to have to decline half of all of those except for one. And you don't want to burn any bridges. So being very intentional about what opportunity is the best for you before you make a decision. Because who knows, you may want to do the next company the next year. So that was really fast. I talked a lot. But if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the chat box below.